Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to yet another Yoga Day special session. Yes, we are back with Creative Warrior online programs powered by Vidya Dan. We all are welcoming you on behalf of Media and Entertainment Skills Council for this exclusive webinar on Linga Mudra as COVID-19 first aid techniques. It's a scientific experiment by Dr. Manivannan. Dr. Manivannan is a professor of Biomedical Engineering in IIT Madras, Department of Applied Mechanics. He received post-doctoral training at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Cambridge. He was a visiting scientist at the Massachusetts General Hospital of Harvard Medical School in Boston and a visiting faculty in Christian Medical College, Vellore. Before MIT and Harvard, he received another postdoctoral training at the National Institute of Standards and Technology, Maryland. In 2005, Dr. Manivannan set up the first Touchlab in India at IIT Madras, which is still unique in the country. He has recently set up Experiential Technology Innovation Center, that is XTIC, which is the first multidisciplinary center for augmented reality, virtual reality, and haptics in India. So, with lot to talk about Dr. Manivannan, let's first invite him and welcome him as a guest on Vidyadan with Creative Warrior programs. Welcome, Dr. Manivannan.
Thank you, Ms. Pooja. And it is an honor to be here and then talk to all the students and the team. I'm very happy.
Thank you, sir. It's really a pleasure having such a great personality here with us. So you are talking about like today your topic it's for Linga Mudra and as a first aid technique post COVID like for a COVID thing now post COVID pre COVID I think you're going to cover. So how this scientific experiment of getting these techniques it occurred and how this came to your mind.
Sure, thank you. So let me give a very brief background on how this came about. Our lab here in IIT Madras is called the Touchlab. You remember, this is one of the unique lab in India where we study how our touch sensation is working, and we develop a lot of technology for providing touch feedback in virtual reality or in smartphones, for example. We all are very familiar with the smartphones, but there is a very simple vibration. That's all it's there. But this smartphone can be used as a better communication tool if the touch communication is improved. Okay, so that are the technologies we have been working on it, and touch sense is very important. All of a sudden, in the COVID, if you look at it, people are scared of touching each other. Before the COVID, people want to handshake and give a caring touch to others, mother to baby, or now family members or friends. After the COVID, now it becomes now very difficult to touch, right? So the touch became irrelevant to COVID, we thought. So what is that we can do with the touch sense for COVID is what we were looking at it. And fortunately, we found something very, very unique. Nobody in the world has explored it. So that is what the whole topic of now today's discussion is.
Wonderful, sir. So without wasting much of time, I'm going to hand this session over to you. It's all yours, and just let me know if I can do something.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. So let me start with a very simple question of you all have seen a lot of statues in the temple, or in the churches or anywhere else. Wherever you go, there are temple statues with all kinds of mudras, right? Mudras is very much integral part of our heritage, Indian heritage, right? We have this heritage for thousands of years, right? And it is a part of the yoga, part of our our Indian medicine itself, right? So there is a Ayurveda, there is in Tamil Nadu, there is a Siddha. We have a lot of literature mentioning about all these mudras. But what our surprise was is this: nobody has ever scientifically studied these mudras. We've been talking about these mudras so many years, right? And we have taken this for granted, and nobody has looked into the scientific aspect of this mudras. Right? And we were looking for now one of the mudras which is relevant or pertinent to COVID. So we have one of our friends, Siddha Doctor. Siddha is an equivalent to Ayurveda in the north and the south Tamil Nadu. There is a much more advanced system of medicine here. And this Siddha doctor in Madurai, she came up with a proposal that this particular mudra may be working for COVID. Can we actually test? So this is when we were looking for some contribution from Touchlab to COVID, and when the doctor asked, we jumped into it. But before jumping into it, we looked at the literature, and there are a lot of other doctors also talking about this Linga Mudra being beneficial to COVID, and even no, yoga. Since today is the yoga day, no, yoga also has a lot of mudras in it. And in fact, there are 300 different mudras. There is one of our friends who has written books on yoga mudras, listing benefits of each of those mudras. So it's all in the literature. As I said, to our surprise, pleasant surprise, that nobody has scientifically studied, not only in India, even in the abroad. Right? So we set out to study this Linga Mudra, but the entire nation was under lockdown. So conducting experiment was very, very difficult, and it needed now a lot of sophisticated instruments. And there were, particularly in IIT Madras, all the students were asked to vacate because of the corona care in the hostels, and there are no students to conduct any experiment. This was very, very challenging about an year ago. But fortunately, one of my students was in Madurai, and I had sent him some instruments along with him, and he had to source a couple of instruments and there itself uh, for conducting this experiment in Madurai itself. And our collaborators, clinical collaborators in Madurai itself. So we had conducted this experiment. We have taken some 15 subjects, 15 all male subjects. We had to ask the male subjects to remove their shirt alone, bare body, upper body, and then sit. We have a thermal camera looking at this all the males one by one, 15 subjects one by one, and then we measured their ECG. We measured their temperature. We call it as an auxiliary temperature, for checking whether there is any signal which we are looking for, specifically looking for COVID related improvement. So our hypothesis or our assumption is that this COVID and this mudra, particularly this mudra, improves the body heat. It is not a body temperature, it is the body heat that it is supposed to improve. And this is what we said to find out whether it is true or not. So by measuring all these things, of course, now the instruments failed a couple of times. We had to repeat all these instruments, experiments a couple of times. And each subject has to sit there for 1 hour without moving on a chair, without cell phone or without a TV, just in front of a cameras, right? It was very, very difficult to find out even the subjects. So first 20 minutes, they have to just sit without holding the hand. And the next 20 minutes, they have to hold the hands together doing this mudra like this. And the third 20 minutes, they have to again sit without holding the hands. We wanted to see whether this, holding the hand, holding the mudra in the hands has really has effect or not before and after. That was a study. So finally, with a lot of struggle, we collected the data. And analyzing the data again was a difficult challenge because no student was there. The data was very big and it needs a multiple analysis. Somehow we finish it off, and now it's a time to publish the data. Publishing the data is fine, but telling the media that this is actually useful. We wanted to do the simple clinical study as well. Before we reach out to the media, we were looking for very strong reasons why this mudra is actually working. And that's when we found out that there is a time when there was a lot of oxygen demand, oxygen supply cylinder, just 2 months back, right? It was a peak time where everybody is looking for the oxygen. All the hospital beds were full, and this is when we thought this mudra can be really useful. So what happens is this mudra increases the body heat, but that is not seen in the thermal camera. The thermal camera shows that the temperature of the skin is actually maintained constant. That is because even if you measure the temperature using a thermometer, the hospital thermometer, it will show that the temperature was constant. That is because our body is a highly thermo-controlled or thermo-regulated system. It means the surface temperature is maintained at any cost. Maintained constant at any situation. Whether you are in a cold situation environment or you are in a desert environment, the temperature is going to maintain constant. Right? So that system that is very well known, but that is somehow misunderstood that the inside body heat also is constant. That is not true. So this Linga Mudra is supposed to be increasing the body, keeping the skin temperature all constant. So when the body heat is increasing, the oxygen absorption capacity also increases. So you don't need oxygen cylinders if you increase the oxygen capacity, absorption capacity of the patients, because the patients can absorb the oxygen from the free air itself. That is what our finding is. So this we told to the media, but we were limited to only the Tamil media, and it was a hit, and all the Tamil Nadu citizens came to know this technique, and a lot of people got benefited. Thousands and thousands got benefited just using this mudra alone. They came out of this COVID, and those patients, COVID patients who practice this Linga Mudra, they recovered much faster. Maybe instead of 15 days to recover, they recovered in 5 days itself. Those patients who are gasping for oxygen, if they are now SpO2, we call it as oxygen saturation. If it is below 90, once they do this Linga Mudra, it jumped to 95 or 96 or even 98. It became normal in 20 minutes. Right? There was a very, very big surprise to all the people who practiced it. And also, because there is a now change in the oxygen saturation in 20 minutes, people could believe it and then practice it regularly and vigorously. and people themselves told this technique to others, and there were a lot of people who are connected with that. That is the background of this Linga Mudra. One of the beauty of this Linga Mudra is that you don't need money to practice this. It is a very simple technique. This technique will work whether you are a rich or poor, old or young, right? It doesn't discriminate on the race or caste or countries, right? It works for everybody. It is universal. And I believe, just like a yoga is a gift of India to the entire world, this mudra also is a gift to the entire world. Why I call this is a emergency medicine, emergency technique. A patient who is gasping for oxygen, if he does this for 20 minutes, he doesn't need the oxygen support at all. Until he reaches the hospital, he can keep doing this mudra. That will keep him alive. And that is the reason I'm saying that this is the emergency technique, first aid technique. Yoga, we think it is now time-consuming process. We have to continuously do for months together or years together in order to see effects. But here is the yoga technique, yoga mudra technique. We call it as a Siddha Mudra or Ayurveda Siddha Mudra. This shows changes immediately. Right? Within 20 minutes, you can see the drastic change. Right? So that is why we call it the emergency technique. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to describe to you how to practice this Linga Mudra. And also, I'm going to tell you how you can teach this mudra to others as well. How to do this Linga Mudra? We have to connect both the hands, and this technique is different for male and female. For male, you have to hold this thumb like this, and then crisscross the fingers like this. Can you all see? Yes. So keep the thumb bent towards you as much as possible. There should be some tension, right? And the gap between the hands should be as tight as possible, so that there is no air in it. So keep it tight, and then keep your thumb straight, bent towards to you, and then keep this position for 20 minutes. And it would be nice if you keep this around your chest or at the level of your chest, so that the blood circulation is maintained. For ladies, the left hand thumb should be up instead of right hand. So again, keep the left hand thumb up, and then hold the left hand thumb, and then crisscross your fingers, and then hold it for 20 minutes. So how do we know whether you're doing this mudra correctly or not? One simple technique. You should get sweating when you are doing this mudra. Some of you might get sweating in 10 minutes, some of you will get in 20 minutes, or others 40 minutes. It depends upon your body type, food what you take, environmental condition, and so many factors. But everybody will get sweating. That is one indication. So what happens? Why are we getting sweating? When the body heat and our internal is increasing, there is a response from the body is kicking. The response is started. What is the response? The response is to cool the body. This mudra is heating the body. The response of the body is to cool the body. there are many techniques our body uses to cool the body. One technique is to get the sweating out. Sweating is an indication that your response is working fine, and then your response is started, and your body is heated up. Okay. So you have to watch for this sweating. That is one important thing. So now, how do we teach this technique to others? So only two things you have to remember. One is that for gents, the right thumb should be up. For ladies, the left thumb should be up. And while holding it, we have to hold it tight. The palm of the hands should be as tight as possible. There should not be air gap. And only then the technique is very effective. Right? So these are the two things you have to remember while you are teaching others. And in fact, this MESC, the students, you have a lot of opportunity, much better opportunity than others to teach others. I'll tell you now shortly why it is so. So before I tell you why you are better prepared than anybody else, let me also tell you more details about this Linga. What is Linga Mudra? What is Linga? Linga is it is considered as the Shiva, right? It is representing the Shiva always, right? You have seen those Linga uh, posters or Linga in the temples, correct? So Linga represents this body heat in our body. This body heat is what we are worshipping as God, Shiva. This body heat is what worshipped as God in other different religions as well. Right? So more than this body heat is what called in our Indian medicine, Indian literature, as the soul or life. When a body is dead, what is the main indication? The main indication is that there is no body heat. The body is very, very cold. Right? There are other indications, but main indication is that there is no body heat in the dead body. So as an indication of the living body, there has to be body heat. And that is what the Linga. This COVID patients, when they have this trouble of lung infections and all those things, their body heat becomes very, very less. When they do this Linga Mudra, their body heat increases. And that body heat increase actually clears up their lungs and then makes the circulation, air circulation, as well as the blood circulation back to normal, and therefore their oxygen absorption is improved. By the way, in the modern medicine, if you look at it, there is no definition of soul or life. Right? The soul cannot be proved in an instrument, therefore the soul doesn't exist. In the modern medicine, if you look at it, there is no clear definition of life. If you go to Google and then search definition of life, you will find that there are hundreds of definitions, and not one definition is good enough, clear, which will satisfy all the criteria what we are talking about. Not only the definition of life, but also the definition of death. Even the death is not clearly defined. When do we define a person as dead? It is still being debated. So let us not go into the details of it. So just remember that this no, Linga Mudra is improved. It is improving your life energy in your body. That is nothing but the body heat.
Okay, wonderful. So that's something we all can do to prevent these symptoms of COVID and other viruses as well, like generic fitness.
Yes, that's correct. But what I would suggest is, no, this should not be taken as a replacement for existing medicine. Right? So this has to be used only as a first aid technique. Should not be thought as a replacement technique for any of the existing medical systems.
Okay, so it's one of the thing, but it's not a replacement for sure. Yoga has been here for ages, and now it's recognized as an international, it's accepted worldwide, and people in different countries are celebrating, and almost all the countries are celebrating Yoga Day today. So what's your message for the students watching you right now who are into this post-COVID scenario, stuck that whether they should move ahead, take some admissions, or go for online, or go for like students are confused what to do. So if you can give one message for the students, please.
Yeah, sure. So uh, yeah, uh, so this has become a now online lectures, online classes have become a norm. So there are even students in our IIT Madras campus who have not seen the campus at all. They have not come to the campus. They have got admission. They have taken 1 year courses online. They have not seen the campus. So what I'm trying to say is this is a norm. I think the students should not worry about they are whether they are seeing the campus or not. They have to take the admission and then think about their career. And I have a message for all the MESC students as well as the MESC team that this Linga Mudra can be used as an emergency tool and then can be used to save a lot of life in the coming third wave. So the third wave is going to come in the next 2 months, and we don't have time to reach out the remote corner of India. So, but no, MESC is very, very powerful. It has already reached to all the rural India, and through MESC, through the tools, whatever you're using, you can take it to the remotest possible. And then, if you can dream that zero mortality in the third wave, that can be that can be a boon to the entire India, and all over the world can notice India as a powerful. But that power is in it. I think only MESC can do. I don't think any other system can do, because media and entertainment is so powerful. Reach out to the entire rural India and then take the message.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words, sir. And Media and Entertainment Skills Council will surely try to convey it to everybody across the country. And we all are hoping that we'll stay safe and we will not let this third wave happen. Yes, very rightly mentioned by Manivannan sir. Like we have seen the second wave, it was terrible. And imagining about third wave is just it shakes your heart. And uh, and especially when they talk about children's getting affected, because we adults have faced it and we understand how hard it is to you know go through these 15-17 days of COVID. So I really request everybody to please follow what sir has mentioned. Please follow the procedures. Please stay safe, maintain the social distancing, take care of the protocols. Protocols are all made for you. It's made for your family. It's made for your loved ones. and of course our loved ones. So we all need to take care of ourselves and our loved ones, and that's how the entire country will be taken care of. If everybody starts taking care of their family and their personal well-being, I'm sure uh, the entire country's health will be taken care of. So, like, it begins with you.
Correct. Exactly. Yes. So maintain all the protocol, follow the protocol, practice yourself, practice the Linga Mudra, experience the Linga Mudra yourself, and then teach others as well, and then save the life. So through this technique, you can save many lives. Not only your life, others also. That is the message I wanted to convey to the audience.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. It's really wonderful, like Linga Mudra, and sharing your thoughts and how you're preparing us for upcoming, scenarios. If we stay safe, if we are able to maintain all the safety measures, people will never realize that third wave is not never gonna come. And with this positive mind, that third wave will never hit the country, because we all will stay safe and we all will take our, best of the precautions and measures to take care of ourselves and our loved ones. With this thought, I'm sure you all agree to me that nobody wants to fall sick, and I don't think anybody would like to see the rate number of COVID rising. We won't. So it's your responsibility. It starts with you. Take care, stay safe, and thank you so much, Manivannan sir, for your time. I know you have been busy throughout, and you're taking out this time for us. Thank you so much for that, sir.
Thank you, Ms.
And
Pooja. It's a
thank
pleasure
you
to me.
so much, our audience, for being here with us on third session. I am sure this is going to be a very useful skill for you, very useful for your life. So do watch it again if you want. Follow us on our social media handles, and stay safe and take care. But before you leave, I definitely like to mention about our upcoming webinar. Yeah, it's starting tomorrow. And tomorrow we are talking with Mr. Vishal Kauji about animation, how uh, animation and gaming industry are booming. So tomorrow, 4 o'clock, we'll have a Marathi language session exclusively for Marathi candidates. So time for me to take your leave. Take care, stay safe. We'll see you. Bye-bye.